Hola, soy Alexia, una investigadora, escritora y archivista francesa. Vivo en Inglaterra. Estoy aquí en la Ciudad de México porque estoy investigando un pintor y I don't have my whole entire library because, well, Lord knows I wanted to bring it, but Jules apparently more important. But I do have with me books that are relevant to this research program residency that I'm on, others that are relevant to my work on a whole, and others that have extreme sentimental value and I tend to take with me on a lot of my perverse adventures. A ver, voy a empezar con el pintor, Froylán, my current best friend at the moment. I actually tend to get on with people who can't talk back at me more than I do with a living, but that's another story. Froylán Ojeda was a Mexican painter, an extremely prolific, important one in his living for reasons that are tragic and sad. He was erased from the wider art conversation. I'm here in la Ciudad de Mexico working with in a residency and with other Mexican researchers and writers and libraries to try and put his work back into a wider sort of context so that he can be featured again in exhibitions and theory and things like that. His output was gigantic. He was also a very prolific art critic, writer, TV presenter, textile designer, todo. Entonces, este libro es un tesoro. And I think I might as well just show you my favorite painting, my favorite page of this book. And whilst I hunt for many, many more of his paintings. Ooh, can you see it? Yes. We also have the painting that drew me in to begin with, which is this one, which I never ever shut up about. I find it, ooh, does this work? No, wait. This doesn't really work, but let's just pretend it does. This is now the third consecutive year of my hunt, my hunting. I don't know. Okay, next tenemos Sofia Bassi. Sofia Bassi was actually, we found out with a friend of mine last year when I was again researching Froylán, we found out they were really good friends, so she holds a very special place in my heart also. Sofia Bassi was considered the first Mexican surrealist and was unjustly incarcerated. These are the memoirs that she wrote and collected during her time in prison. Mi español es un poquito limitado, entonces es muy difícil para mí de leer en español, pero este libro is really, really accessible and incredibly poignant and sad, and the cover is just there are a few passages in this book where Sofia describes visitations and ghostly apparitions and things like that, and they're described with such honesty and grace. Next, sentimental value. This book was gifted to me by my mother. It's Medieval Moon, A History of Haunting and Blessing by Ayoush. I absolutely adore this book. Usually I find writings on medieval literature quite inaccessible. I have about 3 brain cells, so I get lost. But this one is just populated with beautiful stories and explanations and interpretations, and I flip in and out of it because it's just the perfect thing to fall asleep to, the perfect thing to just have in your bag for when you're feeling a little melancholic. But Lazikane describes the role of historical researcher in the introduction of the publication. What is more, any approach to the medieval period is necessarily partial and limited. We look back to the Middle Ages through the shadows and unclear light caused by the surviving information being fragmentary, biased, or simply lost. We might playfully say, though, that such limitations are not out of place in a book on the moon. We look back to the Middle Ages as though through moonlight, a light that is imperfect and meaningfully so. In the words of James Attlee, moonlight is alchemical, for moonlight does not reveal in the straight-ahead visual sense, it transforms, changing colors and contours in its shape-shifting light. And if an explorer of the past perhaps does the same, with every attempt to reach the long-dead people of previous ages, we're not simply shedding light on them. Rather, we're engaged in a subtle alchemical interchange with these historical people, each moment of connection creating new colors, new meaning, depending on its participants. The story of this book is just that, an alchemical reaction with the particular sources available to us. Highly, highly recommend. It's so special, and I think everyone will like this, particularly the passage where an Italian medieval tale is retold, which I'm always late to the party, so I didn't know about this, but it's probably like very common knowledge. I can't remember the name of the tale for you to discover, but a man loses his wits because his partner is unfaithful to him, and his best friend goes to the moon to find them again, his wits, I mean. And everyone's sort of madness is stored in a flask, so if ever you're feeling a little boogie-woogie, just know that you're somewhere up there. You're welcome. Okay, next we have, so I collect these publications. They're poetry translations published by La UNAM, which is a university here. And they always have delightful illustrations on them. I picked this one up because I absolutely love André-Pierre de Mandiargues, but I love his wife even more, Bona Mandiargues, an incredible artist. As usual, I like the man because I like his lady. I'm going to read to you a translation of one of my favorite poems by André-Pierre de Mandiargues, and I really, really like it because it's a perfect blend of kind of textile and nature, and I feel like I can taste it. Les jeux de main, les jeux de mots sont faux. Jeux de mots, jeux de main où l'amour s'égarait parmi les cascades, les lucioles, les pierreries. La mousse des dentelles rompues, les écharpes de soie jetées sur des yeux fiers, et les rires sous les pluies de pétales. Nuit comme un théâtre de velours défunt où s'exaltent nos souvenirs diminués. Y para terminar, this is a very important, essential, scholarly publication, muy pequeño, by Tinashe Mushukavanu, whose name I probably butchered, and I'm so sorry, I'm disgusting. But it's a compilation of texts written about the Zimbabwean writer and historian Dambudzo Marechera. His own writings, his historical and theoretical legacy, and an imaginative archive that's kind of created by his super fandom are melded together to retell his story and mostly translate the effect that he's had on his worldwide fan club. I think this is majestic work, and I use a lot of the thinking for my own process. I genuinely do not know where I'd be without this beautiful book. I really recommend it. 10 out of 10. I'm going to read an excerpt from it. If someone dies, we say Hanakufa, he's not dead, he's still alive and living among us. We have a way of taking back that same person into the family so that they perform the role of an archive, the role of guiding us in the living present. We bring back our dead through the ritual of Kurovaguva. After the ritual, the spirit of our loved one lives with us and becomes our consultant in many things that may trouble us in the living world. So gorgeous, and I won't spoil any more of it because you're gonna buy it and you're gonna love it, and it's gonna be you're gonna look 10 times cooler on dates. Is all I'm gonna say. So that is it. Those were my books, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.